So my book, Exorbitant Privilege, is about the fact that the dollar is not only America's currency, but the world's, that it dominates international monetary and financial transactions to an extraordinary extent, something that I think is a mixed blessing from the point of view of the United States and the world. On the one hand, American living standards are modestly but significantly higher than they would be if we didn't enjoy this demand from central banks and governments and private investors around the world for our dollars. On the other hand, the fact that the dollar is the world's currency creates risks as well. When we in the United States succumb to financial excesses, when we engage in frenzied real estate speculation, foreigners who are anxious for our dollars lend to us freely. They give us more rope with which to hang ourselves, if you will. So the book looks back at that history and experience, and it then looks forward as a way of trying to think about what kind of more balanced or multipolar monetary and financial system may be coming next. In the book, I consider two alternative scenarios, one in which there is a gradual rebalancing or diversification away from the dollar. In that scenario, the dollar would, over time, over the next 10 years or so, come to share the global stage with the euro and China's currency, the renminbi, which I argue would be a healthy development and could be accommodated smoothly if it occurred gradually over time. On the other hand, if the United States doesn't get its fiscal and financial house in order, at some point private investors and foreign central banks could become fed up, and there could be a rapid movement away from the dollar. The dollar could lose that exorbitant privilege. So the way I put it at the end of the book is the only plausible scenario for a dollar crash is one where we in the United States do it to ourselves. The Chinese can take care of themselves. I think they are in fact intent on slowly but surely internationalizing their currency. They have set 2020 as a target date for transforming Shanghai into a true international financial center that will provide trade credit for their firms to do cross-border business in their own currency, that will support international banking transactions denominated in renminbi. 10 years is ambitious time frame, but we in the West have underestimated Chinese officialdom before. I don't think we should do so again. Well, I think it's unlikely that we will end up with trade diverting currency blocks. These zones of influence for the three currencies, the countries in which they will be used, will overlap. So if you're a country like Brazil, you will be using the dollar for your transactions with the United States and many other countries. You'll be using the euro for your transactions with Europe, and you'll be using China's currency in your transactions with Asia. I think the most important thing in terms of making this regime work, it's trite but true, the most important thing will be sound and stable policies in international currency issuing countries.